here's one that we just lost. This is a painful reminder of sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some. But I wanted to highlight this particular project because this is what a few $1,000s less gets you in the whole scheme of things. Look at these cuts along the edge, the uneven gaps. Just some poor workmanship here, especially this. This is atrocious. Instead of hiring a curb cutter to come out and cut the curb, this particular contractor took it upon himself to just cut the curb himself with his handheld saw. As you can see, I think Ray Charles could probably have done a better job. It's really sad because we take a lot of pride in everything that we do, and we are a little more expensive, but at the end of the day, the overall results show through, and that curb cutting is a complete catastrophe. Okay, so then we go over here to the side of the house. I recommended to the homeowner that we have a step here at this patio, and whoever installed this didn't put the step in. And then this is all paver debris. See the cuts there? Leftover pavers, miscellaneous construction materials. This is, again, what you get when you hire somebody that's a little less expensive. This is a problem right here. It's all the same elevation all the way around the perimeter. And then right there in the middle, which is hard to see, here's a stick to try and help show you what's going on here. See, it's got a low spot. So this is just gonna hold water. It's gonna puddle, and it's not gonna be a great place to showcase the pavers because it's always gonna be holding water right there. Then as you walk around to the front here, this one right here has got me scratching my head. So this is a channel drain. I told the homeowner about this because the driveway is sloped from the street. It's kind of a hard thing to show in a video, but if you stand back here and you look at it, you can see the house is probably 12 to 15 inches lower than the street. So I had told the homeowner that I would regrade the lot and I would put this drain about 4 or 5 feet out from the garage so we could get some sloping away from the garage. And here's another problem with this channel drain is that there's no outlet. You can't really see it, but it just dies into the foundation of the house. Like unless there's a pipe going out someplace else, it just dies into the house. And the same thing over here. They've got the drain put in, which I'm not sure why they went this way with it. But that drain ties into this one in the corner at the garage door. Sorry for my dog getting in the way. And it goes all the way over here, and then it just daylights right here. Like there's no drain pipe taking it out anywhere. This is a problem because this is all lower. See this planter right here? The only other place that the pipe could tie into is right here. My dog just stepped over. But anyways, on to the rest of this. This walkway, just a little more time and the outcome would have been way better. You see how these cuts aren't mitered? I'll show you later on in the video the difference between a mitered cut and then what you have here. This is also disheartening. You see that little piece right there? It's like less than an inch. A little bit of thinking and a string line would have gone a long way here on the building of this driveway. The other thing that's disappointing here is that if you would have just made it just a little bit narrower or pushed it over just a little bit, you would be able to eliminate a lot of problems here. This is one of them in particular. Look at these steps. This is just terrible. This is like amateur craftsmanship. Like they can't even line the pavers up, and then there's just this unsightly gap in between the vertical surface and the step tread itself. And then that little piece right there, I mean, what's the point? Like I said, if you would have just narrowed or widened the walkway by a couple inches, you could eliminate a lot of bad cuts. but I don't even know how to justify this. Just the workmanship here is so substandard that I hate it because it gives my industry a bad name. But you see this little tiny cut right there. If it would have moved the walkway, made it just a little bit bigger, or would have moved it over like an inch to one side, you could have eliminated all those little weird cuts. It doesn't make any sense. Obviously, these people don't care. They just wanted to get in and get out. This is a common problem in my industry because it's relatively low startup costs. So anybody with a pickup thinks that they can lay pavers, and then they price it out by the square foot. See the gap there? Just inconsistent cuts, no quality control, just blow and go as fast as they can. The other thing that's disheartening here is that these guys didn't use polymeric joint sand. All they used was the same sand they put underneath the pavers. And with the gaps larger right there, without the binder and the polymeric sand, it's just going to erode. So here's another quality control thing here as well. One of the things that we're big on is compaction. Obviously, somebody built this retaining wall here and then just threw a bunch of material in and didn't compact it, because these pavers have settled several inches. And I pull this out here, you can see that it's just sitting on some sand and maybe some limestone gravel underneath there, but none of it's compacted. It's all soft, it's all settling, and it's going to keep settling until it gets compacted. So probably what's going to happen is all these pavers up here on top of this cinder block is going to have to be pulled up. Here's another one. This is an area, you can't hear it, but I'm tapping on it and it's hollow underneath there. So all this area is going to settle even more. Again, it doesn't take much. Like, all you got to do is come out and compact the material in 4 to 6 inch lifts. What people don't realize is that they think they can just fill a hole and then run a compactor plate on top of it. But those machines that we use can only compact 4 to 6 inches at a time. And so that's what's happened. And then this, oh, what a nightmare this is. You see the little sliver cuts in there? Like, honestly, a little more thinking, a little more with the tape measure would have eliminated that whole little sliver cut all the way down there. You see the next step up doesn't have it. So again, just super frustrating. When I walked this job with the homeowner, I went through some of these things. I said, you have some elevation change here. You have some steps that we're going to have to build just to make it all work. And they obviously didn't hear me. But when I say the steps are terrible, this is the way the steps should have been. If you put the paver and you cantilever it out over the bottom, the vertical surface, you get a nice kind of finished edge there. There's a little return on it. Again, that unsightly cut there drives me crazy. But if they would have just done a little more thinking, they could have made the steps way more presentable. And what I'm talking about is just like an overhang. You know, like your countertops have an overhang? They don't stop directly at the cabinet surface. They stick over a little bit. So again, here you go with some concrete edge restraint that they just kind of haphazardly throw in there, mush it up against the side. It makes it hard to plant plants up against the pavers, grass, and whatever to take because it's got this weird concrete toe curve on it. We like to put the concrete underneath the paver and then bring a shovel back and cut it so it's right flush with the edge of the paver. Again, just highlighting some of the big gaps here. No poly sand, just regular masonry sand installed. And like I said, when you hire somebody by the square foot, you have a bunch of material delivered. The homeowner pays for the material, probably pays more than what I paid for it. And look at all this material that's left over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's like 600 plus square feet left over. And the pavers aren't cheap. If they would have used this a little more, the job would have turned out better. I mean, maybe some of you all who are watching this video don't pick up on it, but I'm embarrassed. I'm frustrated for my industry that people go out and produce work like this. There's no reason for it. And the thing that really sucks is that for a couple grand, this is what you get. A couple grand difference. So I'm gonna take you down to the next job on the street that we recently completed and show you the difference. Check this out. Okay, so here we are at the next job down the street. As you can see here, we had the curb cut, paid a few $100s to get it done, but look at the difference. And then look at our border pieces here. Look at the tight joints, the production cuts, the effort that we put into it, the mitered corners. The attention to detail that we put into these projects is top shelf. When you pay for pavers, you're paying for a finished surface that's going to be more refined. Again, another mitered edge. You see how we lay it out? Everything is square. All the cuts are production. They're all similar in size. Pavers are laid in a linear pattern, so as long as you follow the pattern, you pull a string line, you get a straight, well-installed paver, driveway, patio, whatever it is you're working on. Again, just highlighting the mitered edge, the uniform border, the precise cuts on the outside edge, no wavy edges, just a way better install. And like I said, just for a few $1,000s. I mean, we're talking $3,000 difference overall, square foot to square foot. And then look down here, look at these joints. Look at the consistency in the joint sand. So we use a special polymeric joint sand that's super fine, goes down in there and has a polymeric additive that when we hit it with water, it locks it into place. Doesn't go anywhere. Inhibits weed growth. There's just so many benefits to polymeric sand. And yes, it costs like 50 cents a square foot. Look at this mitered edge right here. Just the attention to detail. There's a difference, ladies and gentlemen. When you go out and select a paver contractor, don't go with the cheapest guy. Look for contractors that are legitimate, have real businesses, and do it right.